The Bronx portion of the Subway Series began with a 9-3 New York Mets victory over the New York Yankees tonight, as ace Justin Verlander was given more than enough run support by the Amazins offense to help grab the win. Regardless of the fact that both of these teams are not exactly where they'd like to be in the postseason chase, newly hired advisor and five-time Yankee World Series champion Andy Pettitte was sure to remind us all that these games always have a different type of feel to them.
It was special, always just because the fans, right? Just what they bring, the atmosphere of these games, and so you always wanted to win those, especially early on when the boss was around. He was definitely hanging around in the locker room, and if we weren't winning, was giving us a hard time about that.
The Mets offense drew first blood in the very top of the first inning. Brandon Nimmo led off the game with a double off of Yankees starter Domingo Germán, and eventually Pete Alonso drove him in with a bloop single to make it 1-0 Metropolitans. Later in the top of the third, Polar Bear cranked a 3-run home run off of Germán to give his club a 4-0 edge. Prior to tonight's game, Alonso had not homered in any of his previous 12 contests. The Amazins would go on to add another 2 runs in the top of the sixth when Alonso and Daniel Vogelbach hit back-to-back solo home runs. Alonso's blast was his 2nd of the game and 28th of the season. Vogelbach's blast was his 7th of the campaign. After Germán departed, the Mets added another run thanks to a Jeff McNeil RBI base knock off of Yankee reliever Nick Ramirez in the top of the 7th. The squirrel would come through again in the 9th with a 2 RBI double off of Ron Marinaccio that gave the Mets 9 total runs on the contest. Despite Germán's performance on the stat sheet, Yankees manager Aaron Boone said that his outing came down to the back-to-back home runs and a few poorly selected pitches.
Really, up until then, he threw the ball well. He got hurt with a couple balls that fell in the outfield. The first one you talked about that led to a run, and then, the 0-2 changeup to Alonso. I just don't think it was the right pitch in that spot. And obviously, he hit a line drive into the stands against him. Around that, had a lot of ugly swings. Like, his stuff seemed pretty good to me, but obviously the long ball got him tonight, and I thought that 0-2 is the one we want back.
Justin Verlander made the start for the Mets and was extremely effective. All told, the vet slung 6 innings of scoreless baseball and struck out 6 batters in the process. His fastball and slider were filthy this evening. He generated 12 combined whiffs using those 2 pitches. The Yankees put 2 runs on the scoreboard off of Mets reliever Brooks Raley in the bottom of the 7th, thanks to an RBI double from Anthony Volpe and an RBI sac fly from Giancarlo Stanton. Then they'd add 1 more off of Grant Hartwig in the bottom of the 8th via a fielder's choice, but it didn't make a difference as a slew of Mets relievers ultimately combined for 3 innings to seal the victory. Once again, your final score is the New York Mets 9, the New York Yankees 3. The Subway Series finale will take place Wednesday night at 7:05 in the Bronx. Jose Quintana will make the start for the Mets, and Carlos Rodon will take the ball for the Pinstripes. With WFUV Sports, I'm Colin Loughran.